Alright, I'm a little bit late to the party on this, but I want to see what this looks like because apparently this came out 16 hours ago and I didn't even realize it, which that's surprising to me that I missed this. But I guess it's just not really been on the front page of the internet and everything like that. Um, Let me see what we got here. So, give me 1 second because I actually haven't watched this yet, so I want to see what's going on here. Okay. Alrighty, let's get this pulled up. Let's see what we got.
Take a look. What a sight to behold. Whew, that's all over. The last lands of the FCU, the Federation of Central Usia.
First of all, thank you for joining us on this ship.
Hello there, my dear newcomer. You are very lucky, you know.
Yes, we are critically undermanned on this ship.
Don't worry at all. The man in front is Jan Rexco, the Wings of Thief. You're riding shotgun with a legendary Ace of Aces.
He's a mass delusion fabricated by the rumor mill of social media.
Radar contact. We think it's the shadows.
Our lone target is Wings.
All dogs fire. Time to pull out. 22.
Roger that.
God damn it.
Start swimming, soldier. Make it home alive.
Let's keep at it, Rex.
Ray, heads up!
On your orders, Rex.
To keep Hope alive, Wings of Thief must stay on the mission. Must fly on.
I can make up your kill count to be whatever. Right. From now on, you'll be the greatest ace pilot this war will ever know.
Okay, so it'll be on PS5, Xbox, and Steam. So thank God it'll be on Steam because then I can actually play it because I don't really console game anymore. Um, let's go back through that because there were a couple of things. Let me turn the sound off for this, or at least make it really low so I can talk about it and everything. This graphically looks good, but I'd expect nothing less after how good Ace Combat 7 looked. Especially like you're going to a next-gen console now and everything like that. But normally in a trailer for a new arcade flight game like Ace Combat, because it's not a simulator, you see a decent amount of aircraft. There weren't that many in this one. It kind of felt like it was Top Gun Maverick, the video game trailer, because there just wasn't that much. There wasn't that much there. There wasn't a whole lot of substance to it. And I did see a couple other things that were a little bit concerning, but I wanna keep looking at this here because this is I'm not exactly overwhelmed by it, I'll be honest. I was really excited about it when I first, saw that it had released, but I got my doubts about this, and I didn't feel that way really about 7 other than the fact that it looked like they brought back that on-rail systems from Assault Horizon, but let's see what we got here.
Take a look.
Alright, life raft, so I'm assuming that this is when those guys were in the water still in the cockpit of the aircraft and escaped, that they managed to egress from it, and they're in a raft now. And I think here he mentions the Federation of Central Usia, so I'm not really big into the lore itself of Ace Combat. I just kind of play the games because we fighter jets, and I don't always want to play DCS. Sometimes I want to play something a little bit more chill. It's kind of the same thing like my dynamic with iRacing and NASCAR 25. But this, he mentions the Federation of Central Usia, and I remember my favorite game in the Ace Combat series was Ace Combat 4, and that's where that entire game takes place, and that's part of the reason I think I love 7 so much. But if I remember correctly in the lore, the Federation of Central Usia was like before Ace Combat 4. It was in canonically it's between Ace Combat 2 and Ace Combat 4. So I don't know how this takes place in there. That being said, the first time I remember a Super Hornet being in an Ace Combat game was Ace Combat 5, and then in Ace Combat 0 they didn't have the Super Hornet, and that one takes place in 1995 in the other continent in the fictional world that this takes place in, which I believe is called Strange Reel. I'm not really sure what's going on here so far because I mean, it's Ace Combat. They can put whatever they want in wherever they want, basically. It's fictionalized highly. It's fiction. But go lay down. Sorry, my dog's being a little crazy. It's fictionalized enough to where, like, if you throw an F-18 Super Hornet as opposed to a Legacy Hornet into the middle of the 90s, it's not that far-fetched considering this game has, like, space lasers and giant railguns that shoot down asteroids or whatever. But that's what's weird to me about this so far.
What a sight to behold. Whew, it's all over. The last lands of the FCU, the Federation of Central Usia.
Okay, let's go back here and see what we got. Alright, so angled flight deck aircraft carrier of some sort. Not sure what class it is. It's kind of hard to tell. This looks like a Jayhawk helicopter. I'm not a big helicopters guy. I'd know my fair share. E2D Hawkeye. Over there appears to be the E and the F variant of the Super Hornets sitting over there on the other end of the flight deck, past the superstructure. But even then, that superstructure looks kind of small too for an aircraft carrier. So I don't know if they're like making their own fictional version of it so they don't have to worry about the licensing, or if they're actually like, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. This is weird to me already. But definitely an E2D. Appears to be a single-seat FA-18E Hornet and a F variant twin-seat Hornet on the other side of the superstructure of the ship. So let's see what else we got here. Coveralls. All right, that makes sense. FCU Endurance. Okay, so that's what's weird. Okay, so I guess that, like, I'm just not entirely sure what's going on here. I know it's just a teaser. It's not supposed to reveal too much, but like, these guys over here, this doesn't even look like the standard stuff that flight deck guys wear. I mean, I was in the Navy. I wasn't on a carrier or anything, but they typically have the color-coded stuff there, like, yellow for handling, purple for fuel, so on and so forth, or it's green for fuel, something like that. And these guys look like they're all wearing civilian clothes. Like, this dude over here looks like he's wearing a depressed version of Charlie Brown's shirt, so I don't know what's going on.
First of all, thank you for joining us on this ship.
You need to shave, buddy. You're out of regs.
Hello there, my dear newcomer. You are very lucky, you know.
Yes.
Sliders, that's realistic. Okay, so why is this guy in civilian clothes and she's in civilian clothes on an aircraft carrier? I guess in real life, contractors sometimes come on in civilian clothes, but they're not dressed like they're on vacation normally. So
We are critically undermanned on this ship.
okay, this doesn't look like something that would have taken place in the 90s time frame. And it looks like that they're having a party on the flight deck of the carrier. This is giving me some weird vibes. I'm not digging this at all. And it looks like there's another Super Hornet parked over there. So, I mean, an underway deployed carrier wouldn't do stuff like this. Like, carriers import, like, they had an NCAA basketball game on, I want to say it was the USS George Washington, where I think it was UNC and NC State or something. It was something like that. So, like, them having events on flight deck carrier decks is not anything unheard of, but if they're underway and deployed, they're not going to do that. I know it's just a video game, but still, that would be a bit of a stretch to have a live band playing if you're in an active combat zone. So, I'm kind of, like, my immersion's already kind of not there.
Don't worry at
Okay, let's go back another frame here. If it'll let me. There we go. I don't know why the internet's doing what it's doing, but yeah, it looks like more civilian clothes here if this will work the way it's supposed to.
Don't worry at all.
Okay, let me try and rewind it again. Don't know what happened there. Okay, so helmet.
The man in front is Jan Rex.
Alright, so looking over the flight deck of the aircraft carrier here, looks like all these guys over here are civilians. This guy in the suit is definitely some sort of, like, contractor, good guy turned bad guy type of archetype, I'd imagine. This dude here is clearly some sort of an aviator, I'd imagine, because that kind of looks like a bomber jacket. And then, now the flight deck crews over here, they look a little bit more appropriately dressed now. That over there looks like an amphibious assault ship, and that back there looks like a tanker. Let's see what else we got here.
The man in front is Jan Rex.
All right, good look at the Super Hornet here. I actually, the detail on this is great. Nose number, I mean, it looks good. The reflection off the canopy looks good and everything. Like, the jet looks really well done. You can see it's either a lantern or a sniper pod. That looks more like the sniper pod to me. That's mounted underneath the hardpoint, underneath the left air intake. Don't see any other ordnance on it. FAS 830, I would assume that that's some sort of squadron abbreviation, whereas in real life you have stuff like, you know, VFA 2 or whatever. Like, legitimate, like, that jet looks good. Like, it really does. So, you've got the danger ejection seat warning over there. That looks pretty good. That's definitely not a problem. Like, graphically, it's a good-looking game so far.
You're riding shotgun with a legendary ace.
Okay, hold up. Let's go back here. He said riding shotgun with a legendary ace pilot. Okay, let's go back another frame here. Okay, so looks like, and you know, Ace Combat doesn't license the weapons. They just use their likeness and, you know, renames them other things. But from back here, it looks like AIM 9 Sidewinder. Those appear to be AIM 120s, judging by the dorsal fins, and I would say that's an AGM 84, I believe. It's hard to tell. No, that missile's not fat enough to be... Well, no, I'd say that's an 84. 88's a little bit slimmer of a weapon. Like, good-looking game, though. Like, you can see where, like, the navigation lights are up here on the top of the vertical stabilizer. It's... Yeah, that's good detail. Alright, let's go back. We get a better look at the weapons there. That definitely looks like Sidewinder on the wingtip, AIM 120s, and an AGM 84, and then over here underneath the first hard point on the left wing, the most inboard one, it appears to be an AGM 84 as well. Here, more F-18s, it looks like. All of them are F-18s. Again, more detail on it. AGM 84, AMRAAMs, Sidewinder. So, again, we're seeing some repetitiveness in this trailer. It's not really the same stuff. Okay, hold up. Let's go back here. So, those appear to be standoff dispensers or fuel air bombs, one of the two that they have in the Ace Combat games. And the smaller missiles there, those look like additional Sidewinder, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but... So I remember this thing from Ace Combat 7, I believe it was called the Arsenal Bird. It's basically like a giant flying fortress that has a bunch of UCAVs on it. Like, cool concept and everything, and, you know, not out of place for this game at all. But it's just kind of weird that it would be kind of repeated here. I mean, every single one of these games tends to have a giant flying fortress of some sort. Ace Combat 6 had the one that had like the Su-30 squadron on it, and then there was one even in the original Air Combat game for PS1, I remember. But like this looks verbatim like the Arsenal Bird. Yeah, it looks just like it. Oh, other good detail here. Let's go back.
Radar contact.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Su-57 doing this maneuver just like in Top Gun Maverick. And also, one thing I would like for you to notice right here, and when you go back, when you initially climb into the jet, this is the back seat. You can tell because you've got this gigantic, I believe that these are also referred to as DDIs as well, just like in the front seat, but it's just a giant screen, basically. It does all the same stuff, and you've got the keypad and everything like that, and you can tell by the position of the canopy bows here that this is the back seat. So, and then yeah, that's the back seat.
With a legendary ace of aces.
He's a mass delusion fabricated by the rumor mill of social media. Radar contact. We think it's the Shadows.
Su-57. This appears to be some other sort of UCAV of some sort. Trying to see what aircraft that is in front of it. Carrier getting blown up. So front seat there. You're dead. No. When you hit the water like that, unless he... When you hit the water like that, unless he managed to bleed off a lot of airspeed, have the stick back, have the flaps down, all kinds of other stuff there to slow that jet down, hitting the water like that, that's kind of a death sentence. It's just... Yeah.
Make it home alive.
F-18s again.
Just keep at it, Rex. On your orders, Rex.
To keep Hope alive, Wings of Thieves must stay on the mission. Must fight on.
I can make up your kill.
See, that even gave me Top Gun Maverick vibes there. Like, similar style helmet, similar style paint. Like, it's almost like they're trying to emulate it in some way. Like, okay, this right here, this already kind of reminds me of, like, Phoenix and Top Gun Maverick. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just kind of like, it doesn't feel unique. It feels like that they're just kind of trying to build... I hope the game's not, like, so much like that, but it seems like they're trying to build the hype off of Top Gun Maverick, and that movie's been out for, what, 4 years now? 3-4 years now? Don't get me wrong, I love the movie, but this just doesn't seem... It doesn't seem authentic, really. It seems like that, you know, I've only seen 2 actual aircraft so far. So...
Make up your...
Kind of the same thing here. The mask is a little bit different because it's got the center hose instead of the side one with the regulator on it or whatever it is. But same time though, I'm not seeing anything particularly unique. Again, graphically it looks good, but I'm just not digging it so far.
kill count to be
More Super Hornets.
whatever. Alright. From now on, you'll be the greatest ace pilot this war will ever know.
Okay. More F-18s. Yeah, I'm not impressed. Not in the slightest. I'll just be honest. Not impressed at all. Let me know what you think down in the comments, but I'm not digging it. I'm not digging it at all. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good day. I will see you next time.